Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into the incredible, tiny little instruction manual that literally makes you, well, you. It's the secret code that builds every single living thing on this planet.
So let's kick things off with a huge question. Think about it. How does your body know how to build everything, from your brain all the way down to your bones? It seems like some kind of magic, right? But it's actually all based on an unbelievably precise set of instructions. And the answer lies in a kind of secret code, a master blueprint that's hidden away inside almost every single one of your trillions of cells. We call this blueprint DNA, and it's the ultimate instruction manual for life. It controls everything. So let's crack this code open and see how it all works.
All right, first things first. We need to understand what this blueprint is all about and, where it's kept safe and sound inside ourselves.
So its full name, which is a bit of a mouthful, is deoxyribonucleic acid. Yeah, let's just stick with DNA. Its main job is to carry the genetic code. These are the instructions for building proteins, and proteins pretty much build and run your entire body.
So where are these super important plans kept? Well, most of your DNA is locked away safely inside the nucleus. That's kind of like the cell's main office or control center. In there, it's all organized into something called the chromatin network. But here's a cool fact, a tiny little bit is also found in the mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cell. Okay, so we know where it is, but what does this blueprint actually look like? How is all that information stored? It's time to zoom way, way in and check out its famous structure.
Thanks to the amazing work of scientists like Rosalind Franklin, Watson, and Crick, we know that DNA has this beautiful, elegant shape, a twisted ladder that we call the double helix. And every single piece of this ladder, both the sides and the rungs, is built from this one repeating unit called a nucleotide. Each nucleotide has just 3 parts, a phosphate, a sugar, and then one of 4 things called a nitrogenous base. And this is where the magic happens. This is where the code is actually written. The rungs of the ladder are made of these 4 bases. But here's the crucial rule. They always pair up in a very specific way. Adenine, or A, will only ever pair with thymine, or T. And guanine, G, will only ever pair with cytosine, C. That's it. That simple ATGC rule is the entire language of genetics. Pretty incredible, right? Now, what good is a master plan if you can't make copies of it? So before a cell can divide into 2, it has to make a perfect copy of its DNA. And we call this process DNA replication. And the way it works is just so elegant. First, the helix unwinds, and then it unzips right down the middle, separating the 2 strands. Each of those original strands then acts as a template. Little free-floating nucleotides come in and match up with their partners. A finds a T, G finds a C, building a brand new strand. And what do you get at the end? 2 identical DNA molecules, each one a perfect copy of the original. And this is just so important. Replication is happening in your body as we speak. It's how you grow. It's how you heal when you get a cut. It makes sure that every single new cell gets the exact same master plan to work from. Okay, so we've got a master blueprint and we know how to copy it. But how does the cell actually use the code to build stuff? How do you turn all those letters into real-world things like your muscles or the enzymes in your stomach? Well, to get the instructions out of that protected nucleus, the cell uses a special messenger molecule. Meet RNA, or ribonucleic acid. Now, RNA is a super close cousin to DNA, but it has a few key differences. See, it's single-stranded, not double. It uses a different sugar. And instead of the base thiamine, it uses one called uracil. These little changes make it the perfect temporary delivery guy. So this whole process of reading the DNA code to actually build a protein is called protein synthesis, and it happens in 2 main stages, transcription and translation. The first stage, transcription, is basically making a quick, working copy of a single gene. Think of it this way. The DNA is the master blueprint, and it never, ever leaves the main office. That's the nucleus. Instead, the cell makes a photocopy of just the 1 page it needs. That photocopy is called messenger RNA, or mRNA, and it gets sent out to the factory floor. Now, the mRNA message isn't read 1 letter at a time. No, it's read in 3-letter words. We call these words codons, and each codon specifies one of the 20 different amino acids, which are, the building blocks of all proteins. Okay, once that mRNA message arrives on the factory floor, which is actually a tiny little structure called a ribosome, the second stage begins. This is translation, and it's all about turning that message into an actual physical thing. This is where the code becomes reality. The ribosome grabs onto the mRNA and starts reading it 3 letters at a time, codon by codon. For each codon it reads, another type of RNA called transfer RNA or tRNA shows up. It's like a delivery truck carrying the one specific amino acid that matches that codon. The ribosome then stitches these amino acids together, one after another, creating a chain that folds up into a perfect working protein. And that's it. So, this whole incredible system, this code, this copying, this building, is happening all the time in all of us. But how does it make each of us a completely unique person?
Well, while the process is the same for all of us, the exact sequence of A's, T's, C's, and G's is totally unique to you. And that uniqueness has some really powerful uses in the real world. The one you've probably heard of is DNA profiling, or DNA fingerprinting. By comparing these unique patterns in our DNA, scientists can do all sorts of things, like identify suspects at a crime scene, prove family relationships, and even help doctors find a compatible organ donor for a transplant.
You know, when you step back and look at it, it's just mind-blowing. A simple 4-letter code, A, T, C, and G, gets copied and translated through this complex, beautiful machinery to write the unique biological story that is you. It really is the engine that drives all life as we know it. And that's a wrap on DNA. Hey, if you found this breakdown helpful and you really want to master topics like this to ace your exams, you have got to go follow Mr. Chi. Check him out on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. He has tons of super clear, simple explainers just like this one. Seriously, go check him out. Thanks for watching.